Outstanding Security Performance Awards. Personally, I'm always very fond of events held by Business World because they're very informative, like the previous session was, which I was listening to. They're very professionally managed and very enlightening. So thank you very much, Dr. Batra. Special thanks to you, Editor-in-Chief of Business World, for inviting me to this event, which is hosted by Business World and CAPSI. Before we go forward on my subject, which is how information technology is transforming traditional security to ManTech, and I would seek Dr. Batra's permission if I can change that word ManTech. I find it too cliched and too cold to something which is more related to human beings. So let's try to call it human intelligence and technology. So human IT for better understanding. But a couple of facts of this sector before we go forward. This sector, as I checked this morning, employs over 1 crore of, which is a little more than the Indian Army, Police, Navy, Air Force, all put together. The private security industry, and why do we do this? Because the public to police ratio in this country is very, very low. As per MHA, ideally, what is the authorized trend should be 195 policemen for every 100,000 people. But we currently, due to shortages, are 156 personnel for every 100,000 people. It's really low. Therefore, we need private security industry. In 2000, financially, this industry was worth 99,000 crores, and by 2022, it is predicted to reach 1.5 lakh crores, which is equal to 23 billion US dollars, which is a very, very big figure. In 2013, this industry was about 30% organized. Now we are 50% organized, and we are moving very quickly towards being organized, which is a great thing. Now, security typically is synonymous with standard things, metal detectors, security guards, patrolling. In fact, if I was speaking to you 20 years back, I would have said it's synonymous with a Gurkha at the gate with a baton. But of course, we've changed from then. But what we are not appreciating is that it's now evolved beyond what we think about guards and metal detectors, etc. It is there to support the business for loss prevention beyond physical guarding. It is enforcing safety standards in organizations and tracking local and geopolitical events to do preventive and predictive security. This transformation has happened due to what we can call constructive enablement through power of technology. Now, we all talk about technology. We just heard the previous session. There's a whole talk about technology. But from the perspective of security, we need to bring it into a bracket. Traditionally, this industry was fragmented, unorganized, ill-trained. There were 15,000 security companies across the country, licensed and unlicensed, providing this 1 crore people to our clients. That is not possible today. It is going to change. The industry has evolved. And why? Very simple logic. This basic thing, wages. In the last 10 years, in most states, the minimum wages or the wages for a guard have gone up by, in some cases, 140%. No company can justify that kind of a spend without any change. If I'm paying 10 rupees for a shirt today and 20 rupees for it 10 years from now, I need to know what else am I getting. Has technology moved? Am I getting a better shirt? Will the button not come off? Something different. But in our industry, that is not possible. You've still provided security guard. And like Captain Sanjay Sharma said a few minutes back, it's why should I pay more when I'm getting the same? Now, in this industry now needs to move from what I called input-based security to output-based security. Everybody has always seen security as a cost. It needs to be seen as an input. It needs to show and be able to show in measurable terms what it delivers. And that is possible through technology. In my company, Peregrine, we have come up with a catchword called BPRO, Business Process Reengineering Operations. Basically, re-engineer what the guy is doing operationally on site using technology to deliver better quality, measurable gains through how much theft is controlled, how much pilferage is prevented. And I'm very proud to say, using this BPRO, we have been able to, in a certain FMCG company, reduce the pilferage by 15%. That's measurable. The client now understands that his security is not just a cost, it brings him benefits. Now, return on investment. Everybody talks of ROI. Cost to, how is the cost driven? Clients need to, in previous couple of years back, you would have seen that when every security head, every finance head, every commercial head, procurement head comes under pressure, what does he do? He either reduces security guard or reduces the management fees. That's the only thing you can do, because everything is etched in stone by the government. Everything else is within the law. But how much of the management fee can you reduce? How many people can you reduce? I think personally, we've really hit the rock bottom. Clients are giving out contracts at 3%, and there are 10 companies standing in line to gain them. Now, how do you now manage it? Because beyond that, you can't go. It'll become counterproductive. You'll actually be paying money from our pocket to service our clients. In Peregrine, we started reducing the downtime and maximizing production. For example, in a heavy industry, or in a heavy industry, we reduce the downtime. In a car manufacturing company, a major global giant, we reduce the accidents that used to happen inside the production. All this only using technology. I will give you a very simple example. In a client that we service overseas, it's a big market that we service, which is around a canal system. Over there, in addition to the security doing all the standard job of securing the property, ensuring there are no miscreants, and looking after issues about theft, etc., we are also measuring through using technology footfalls, demography, age, areas where more people are congregating, even down to the fact that we can tell you how many shopping bags of a certain shop went out of that market on a particular day. Now, COVID has acted as a tech catalyst, essentially. COVID, of course, has brought major misery to the entire world. There has been pain, there has been deaths, uh, losses, there is unemployment, and of course, we now about to, I don't know what's going to happen. Fingers crossed, third wave. But for this industry, there were a couple of good things also that happened. One, it brought recognition to the industry. Two, it made us what we love to call these days COVID warriors. We were the people, our guards were the people standing still over there when everybody else had gone home. This recognition and being seen as people who would perform in these extreme emergencies has moved towards technology. How did it do that? Basically, and we all know it, technology was moving. It was moving into every part of our life. I'm sure you've all heard the story that Amazon has a store in Seattle where there's not a single human being. You can just pick up something. It automatically deducts the money from your card. All this would have happened in every industry, but it would probably happen in 5 years. Due to the catalysm of COVID, it is happening very fast. In the last 1 year, we've seen a major change. Businesses do not have the luxury or the option. Tech transformation is something that they will do. Of course, clients say, give us this, give us that, but don't charge us more money. This will cost money, and the clients fortunately know. But then there is measurable benefit that the clients get out of it. Now, CCTV as an enabler. Now, the old humble CCTV, which has always been there, we've seen it hanging everywhere. Of course, it has developed new fans. It can now turn around like a circus gymnast. It can look anywhere. It can zoom in. A lot of nice things it can do. But most importantly, its essential role historically always has been post-mortem. After an event has happened, the footage from the CCTV is used for post-event investigation. It did not stop events from happening. I'm sure you would all remember that incident of that ATM in Bangalore, where a lady went into an ATM room. Somebody followed her, showed her a knife. I think he injured her also, if I'm not wrong, made her draw some money. And later on, of course, through the CCTV footage, that man was caught, etc. But suppose, think about it, if that little ATM cabin had a CCTV connected to a
Thank
command
thank
center,
you again.
two-way communication. And the moment a second person entered that cabin, alarm goes off to say, why are there two people in that command center, in that ATM room? And in the through the two-way communication, somebody from the command center could have said, we have seen you, we have followed you, we've informed the police is on the way, please desist from doing what you're doing. My bet is he would have desisted. That is how we need to use technology proactively. And of course, there are things like machine learning. It's continuously improving. Artificial intelligence. It has enabled CCTV to proactively empower security personnel to detect real time and deter incidents. In Peregrine, we have a sister concern called Soteria, which is a command center. And through that, we monitor without human intervention many locations. Interestingly, we all know it that a person sitting in front of 10 screens when you have a command center anywhere uses intelligence in approximately 16 minutes. Believe me, it is true. I lost in 9. After that, he's as good as a piece of furniture in that room. But when it is a system monitoring, artificial intelligence monitoring, in that case, when the incident happens, when a rule is breached, when something that was not supposed to happen happens, alarm goes off and action can be taken.
So I'm going to go to you then.
Apologies. Now, uh, productivity tracking and output focus through mobility solutions. Security guards of the future will be measured not by the number of hours they do duty, but by the productivity. I'm sure all of you who have visited overseas must have seen there is a guy always walking around putting parking tickets on cars. He's not paid salary, or maybe he's paid a small salary for that, but his major income comes from his law enforcement on the work that he does. Therefore, they are so proactive. So, a security guard, similarly, of the future will be measured on the productivity and the output that he brings. Uh, Security companies will not be security companies, they'll be tech companies doing security. And this will actually benefit everybody. That'll come to later. But the security guard, let's say hypothetically, if he's monitored through his mobile device, if he's sitting in a place, he's not moved, alarm goes to his phone to tell him, get up, you've not moved for 10 minutes, go and do your patrol. If he doesn't move, alarm goes to his boss, who's supposed to take proactive steps. It will become so much easier to monitor people rather than sending a supervisor everywhere. And this will be all real-time basis. In Peregrine, we tried out a mobility solution which has become highly successful. We are able to deliver 20% faster response. How? We geo-mapped all our client site. We mapped our person who's our field operative on the road. We know how much time he spends on the road, how many kilometers he's driven, how many sites has he visited, how much time he spent on the sites. And in fact, when he goes to a client site, he gets a message on his phone to tell him, this client owes us X amount of money, you can go and talk to them. It also helps in collection, which is most important to all of us. So this is a rapid transformation happening. And the last part is drones, the future. That's the new buzzword. Now, typically, drones are right now, maximum are being experimented, tried with by logistic companies for last mile delivery. And in India, for law enforcement, the only time they were used were in 2000 Commonwealth Games, where they were extensively used. However, not many people would know that just recently, I think 3 months back, the entire Aravali region was mapped in less than 5 days' time using drones, something that would have taken months to do otherwise. So drones are the future. They've evolved. Security companies need to evolve to use drones. It is a great surveillance tool. It will reduce CCTV usage, you reduce usage of patrolling. I am a great believer of drones. I set up a drone training institute about 2 years back. We have the capability of training 1,000 drone pilots and licensing them, and we have the authority from the aviation ministry. First batch was passed out last year. I think there is a huge future for drones. So the key takeaways from my very simple talk is number one, security will move from input to output based. One size will not fit all, and I'm sure we can all agree on that. In this particular case, everywhere we hear technology is a disruptor, it's a disruptor. This is probably one case where technology is not a disruptor, it is very constructive. The benefits will go to the clients because they will be able to save money and have better quality of security. Will go to companies because we'll have to stop fighting over 1 or 2, 3, 4% margins, and to the security personnel because they'll be better trained, better qualified, therefore better paid. The role of the security guard will change completely. He'll be better trained, better paid, upgradation of his skill, tech enabled. And I dare say, gentlemen, and I'm a great believer in this, that India may well become a world leader in this. So in the end, human IT security is what is going to be the future, and it's going to happen very fast. Thank you very much once again, Business World, for inviting me. It has genuinely been a privilege.